Everybody. So yesterday I was wiped out after doing 4 DAOs. Hoping I can have a little more sustainability today. I am. Oh, Marcy, Marcy. I picked up Dr. Rao at some point and lost you, and I was so upset about that.
Oh, the other day I had a call.
Oh, okay. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, I missed Darcy. I was like, oh, Marcy, how are you? I just
Good.
said
How are you
Darcy.
today?
I don't know why I said that. I'm doing really well. I'm gaining my energy back. I ran a race not long
Oh,
ago.
yeah. I knew you were gonna. I knew you were gonna talk about that at some point.
Yeah, and I got and my ankle is all swollen, so I iced it this morning a little bit just to
Okay.
and but I'm doing well. I'm still walking around and getting stuff done, and it was a really great race. It changed my life.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. So, how have you been?
I'm good. I'm fabulous. There we go. Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I know I kind of ran into one of your talks. I don't know, was it yesterday? I was so wiped out I didn't really stick
Oh,
around.
yesterday. So yesterday I wanted to keep the talk going, but I had already committed to something else, and it would have been
Mhm.
great. Dio came up and chatted twice, and Jason B. I had a lot of people come to the stage, and it evolved. The conversation was basically about when the bottom drops out,
Yeah.
don't fall off the truck,
Right.
and it really just ended up switching gears and talking about gaslighting and
Okay.
narcissism, which
Yeah.
which happens a lot in my talks. I think a lot of people just really need to heal from the way that they've been treated. So it happened there, and we had a really great talk.
Good. Good. I'll have to go back and kind of give it a run through because I know it was on and I went through it, but I was so exhausted I couldn't even listen to anything. I was just like, I need quiet. I need to just like be here and yeah. I like on Saturday and Sunday I just kind of sat in the dark and cried in my bed.
Oh wow.
No, it's good. It
No,
was
I was gonna say
cathartic
that
and beautiful.
that's what I was gonna say. It must have been cathartic for you. I like sitting by myself and just releasing.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was all about like it was about so many things dying within me that just that like challenging ourselves is so important, like and doing this run was not only a challenge physically, which I didn't really care about. It was a challenge like mentally and through my own self-judgment, my own judgment of others and all of these things that I really had to kind of put into perspective and all of that shedding just kind of just happened. I mean, I don't even know what it was, but we let it go.
Right.
So that was good.
Well, I'm glad that that happened for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get on with the Dow. You got a number for me?
Have we ever done 77? I'm not sure if we've done that one yet. I try to remember to write them down and I can't. No, I don't know where I put that particular notepad.
Okay. Well, I don't know because I mean, although I could look it up, I'm just going to read this, and
Yeah.
if we have, I could look at another translation, or we can pick a different one.
Cool.
So, as it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. Does that sound familiar to you?
It does. It does. Because we talked about me being the archer, the Sagittarius.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna pick one at random. 54.
54. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself.
Hmm.
Hmm. Thoughts?
Um, Quite a few.
Good.
Can you read the first line again?
Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Not so much that one.
Well, actually, like I'll take that one then.
Okay.
How do I? We look at this last line. How do I know this? How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself, right? So as we kind of take this, all right. So all of this is like looking inside myself. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. I look around the world and we're always running into people who are trying to be something,
Hmm.
trying to be seen as something, trying to accomplish something, trying to figure something out, trying to move into a direction that they feel like they need to go, and they are not here.
Correct.
And
Okay.
I think when we look at this, whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Don't go flitting about from moment to moment, being something that you're not. Be here in this moment and be rooted.
Okay. Well, okay, then yes, that actually is that resonates deeply because I'm always telling everyone I like being in the now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. It's important for me to stay right where I am
yeah. The next
for the
line
moment.
goes, "Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away." As I talk so much about this idea of living under the influence of other things, like every time you live under the influence, every time you take, like gaslighting, every time you're gaslit and you believe it and you onboard it and they manipulate that, like you're slipping away a little bit.
Yes.
You're getting uprooted. But here we see, like, when you're planted in the Tao, when you embrace the Tao rather than embracing those externals, we can look inside ourselves and see the truth of these things.
Okay.
The next line goes, her name, like, whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will live in honor from generation to generation.
Hmm. Okay.
Thoughts?
I don't really have any on that one
Okay.
specifically. Yeah.
All right. So now we go into this let these things happen group, right? There's a group of 4 things that it's like, let the Tao be present in your life and you will become genuine.
Right.
So that can relate to what whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. You're not going to slip away. You're not going to be rooted up. Like, let the Tao be present in your life and you will become genuine. Just being genuine, what does that mean to you?
Oh, I talk about being disingenuous. It's those two words. Wow, they confuse me. I talk about that all the time with people that I encounter on the daily, and how
Mm-hmm.
they're presenting as one thing, and then when they're caught off guard, you see another side to them.
You see who they are, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You see, like, they're telling everybody to be one way while they're going out and doing something else.
Exactly why I don't tell anybody to do anything.
Right. And they're always looking outside of themselves and they're trying to make themselves seem like something, right?
They're always looking for validation from others rather than looking within.
But when you can let the Tao be present in your life and you can plant yourself in it, you can embrace it, and that is the void of everything. It's not actually definition, it's actually ungroundedness. It's not groundedness in anything. In that space you
Right.
can be genuine. You can move towards that genuine being. Let it be present in your family and your family will flourish.
I like that. I like the way that sounds.
Mhm. Yeah, let it be present. Let this moment be present in your family without fear of what the future is, because you embrace the Tao. You know that everything here is being held. Your children are being held, your relationships are being held, and all of those things are being held. Now, that doesn't mean you don't You don't like walk away from things that aren't serving you or whatever, but like that is, but you let it be present in your life.
Okay.
Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. And when we talk about country here, like this is also family or your body or your community or whatever.
Correct.
And that is, being planted in this teaching that is throughout this ability to be here and be present. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing.
That that let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. Today, when I was showering after my workout, I could hear singing and
Mm.
music. And it's funny, you and I have talked about extensively about the ocean and water and what it means to me.
Yeah.
But it was only while the water was running that I heard it.
I love stuff like that, where it's just like
Yeah,
that's happening, and then you change something, and then boom, it stops, and you
it was
can't
gone.
even, you don't, because it's gone. And this is the beautiful thing about Tao, and this is the beautiful thing about allowing things to be where they are. Your logical mind, my logical mind, when things that have happened like that have been like, was that there? Or was I hallucinating it? Or what was going on there? Because it's like it's gone. And it's like, is it connected that? And then I might turn the water back on. And it's like, no, it's not there when the water's on, but it was there when the water was on, like in that moment.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to, sometimes I get caught up in trying to prove it to myself, and then I remember the Tao says, like wise men need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise, right? Like wise
Well,
men
can I
don't
ask you
need
a
to prove their
question,
point.
Martin
Yeah.
John? Why? Why?
Why
Why
what?
do we need to? I heard it.
No, wise men don't
No,
need to
no,
prove.
I know, no, no. I'm
Oh
asking
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah.
Why? Why? I've heard it before. It's been a while, but today I heard it very clearly, more clear. It's almost as though, when you see those movies where the clouds open and the light shines down and you hear angels singing. That it was
Yeah.
like that, except it was in the water, while I was in the water. And I don't need to prove that it happened. I don't question it. I
No.
just knew that it was there.
Yeah. And it
So
was
why
there
do
and it
people
was
need
real
to
for you.
prove that it happened?
Oh, well, I mean, that's, like, that's just me trying to know, am I being spoken to, or am I
Oh,
making things whatever, that's just I don't think you do.
no, I
I
didn't. I
wouldn't
didn't mean
want,
it like
I
that.
wouldn't,
I'm
I want to
curious.
be able to let go of that. Like I remember one time I was doing sensory deprivation. I was doing a sensory dep tank, I was
Oh,
floating
those
in this,
are an interesting thing to do. Yes, I've done that.
yeah. So yeah, I was doing that, and I saw this light in the back of the tank, and I was like, "Oh, this is this," and it was a new place that I was at. And I was like, "Oh, they have a little place here with like a screen and stuff," and then as I was looking at it, I was like, "Is that there?" And then I put my hand over it, and I still saw the light, and I said, "Oh." And it didn't dawn on me that I was just hallucinating this dot, right? And and I put my hand down, and I went to look back at it, and it was gone. And I was like, "Wait, did I see that? I don't even like." It's like what I don't know what just happened. Like, and it's kind of like, wait, was I asleep? Was this happening? I was like, I don't remember falling asleep. I don't like I'm here, but it was such a real experience. And then that first understanding that experience was real, but then me in my body trying to justify what is real in that moment, really
I
kind
see.
of like that's what happens, like in that split second of like that differentiation between like dream and awakeness. As you're going from one to the next, you're like, what's real, what's not.
I get it. I get it. I don't want to say I struggle with this, but I often feel, I've told you before, I do not ever take my gifts for granted. So every time
Yeah.
something happens, I'm so pleased. I'm like, oh, wow. And at the same time, I don't question that it's happening.
Yeah.
I don't, me personally, and I don't judge anyone because everyone's got their personal way of translating things in their brain. And so I'm always curious as to why. I'm not judging. It's literally why. Why does your brain work that way and mine works this way? It's just something that I think about a lot. Oh, I'm gonna time out. Thank you for the talk, Martin John.
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, why? There's an endless question, right? Like, there's a question that we can ask until the cows come home. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't ask why as often. Like, I ask, sometimes, like, and I think, like, with that, like, why does your brain work different? I don't question that. I just kind of allow you to have that. And that's something that's me, right? And we can ask, why is that different? Or why do I do that versus why do you do this, and all of those things. And that's gorgeous. And I just wanted to read this last line here. How do I know this is true? How do I know all this is true? Because I look inside myself. And I think that's the big thing. Right? I look inside myself. I don't look inside of others. I don't look inside of things outside of me. I don't look outside of myself. I look inside myself. And so the question, why does my brain work this way, right, for Marcy, is her looking inside herself. The question of, is this real, is me looking inside myself. And that's unique and honest and true to me. And that's what's beautiful about this moment. What is true to me at this moment? Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Oh, my buddy Kelly. Kelly, how are you, dear?
Good morning. Hey, it's so funny, the synchronicities. I had this conversation last night for like an hour about like your truth is the only truth that matters. Trusting yourself and being your own leader and all these things. And here we are.
Here we are. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself. And that's
Yeah.
the only place that we know truth, right? Like, we don't have to
Yeah.
answer other people's questions. We don't have to even care that they have questions. We can just look inside ourselves. And when we do that, we will know that we can be planted and rooted in the Tao, and here at this moment as we are. And I'm learning that more and more as I continue exploring myself and all the things that are going on in my life. I'm just like, how can I be here as me more? Right? Because there are still, like, 'cause I still live under the influence of other people's ideas and what society thinks, or what, you know, like, all of those things. And so it's really great to be able to, own myself a little bit more.
It's when you get to be the more yourself, like the more you take stock and give yourself that validation, like the more you get to be a part of it's not selfish, I guess is what I'm trying to say, like, to look
No?
inside yourself, to own your own truth, it's for your thoughts and opinions to matter, makes you actually more a part of the collective. It makes you a stronger person in the family. It's not because you're, like, honoring your own truth, and you're not trying to make someone else's truth yours or make your truth someone else's. Yeah.
Right. You're here as you, and that's the only thing you can do. And because you don't know anybody else, because you're not connected, like, you are not somebody else, thinking of yourself through their eyes doesn't help you. And it doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help the collective at all, because you're giving up the one thing that you're here to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So what's for breakfast?
Gum.
Oh, that's a choice at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah. It was a choice. Uh,
All
because I
right,
live in a
let's
camper and I don't have my toothbrush in here, and I'm not out
okay.
of bed quite yet because I'm
Brush
cold
your teeth with
today.
Dentyne.
Yes, so I'm like, okay, it's too cold.
Okay, it's too cold. It's like 80 degrees here in Chicago.
Oh my gosh, it's so chilly here today. I can't get up.
All right, so let's get a number.
Okay, 81.
81. Going all the way to the end. True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. That's what we were just talking about over in 54. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating. The master leads. I can't help but look at the
You
more
have
he
this one
does for
memorized.
others. What's that?
I feel like you have that one memorized.
Well, I'm reading this one, but I'm looking at this like the more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. And I can imagine that those lines are like nails on a chalkboard for you right now.
Oh. I wasn't thinking about me. That's funny.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
you don't.
Oh. Oh gosh. Yeah, I can't. I can't think about me. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Mm,
You know, and the thing is that at the core of so much is you thinking about you.
yeah.
You know, like it is you, like and your fears and all the things that carry with you that are getting you, because like, you know, I know we've talked, and I know like doing so much is like doing for others, but like they're coming, so many of these things are like coming from your, you know, like you and your fears and all the responsibilities that you carry. You know, as this one starts, true words aren't eloquent, eloquent words aren't true. It's like when we say eloquent, you know, that relates to persuasive. You know, true words aren't persuasive, and persuasive words aren't true. You know, if you got to convince yourself or others of something,
Yeah.
that's
I, yeah. It's I come to this place where it's like division. Um yeah, I think I mentioned this other not too long ago, but definitely you can even just in your truth, right? Like if well, you stand in your own truth, like your lived experiences, whatever, like your truth is being you, being fully yourself is what's going to really connect you fully to those around you. And um at the same time, like focusing too much on being fully yourself actually causes these divisions. Like you know, there's this like I don't know how that connects, but that's what the image was that popped up, you know? It's just really like sometimes trying too hard to bring it together just causes more rifts.
yeah. You know, it's interesting. I'm going to read a different translation. The truth isn't flashy. Flashy words aren't true. Educated people aren't always smart. Smart people don't always have an education.
Mhm.
Good people don't argue. People who argue aren't good. The master doesn't hang on to things. They're always doing something for other people. So they always have more to give. They give away whatever they have, so what they have is worth more. If you want to get right with Tao, help other people. Don't hurt them. The master always works with people, never against them.
Makes me really my mom that my mom died from an accidental drug overdose and she was an addict all my life and And she also had cancer and a bunch of other things that occurred in moments when she wasn't, which led her back to it. But like right then, I want to defend her, like, but
Yeah. Hmm.
but it was a battle. Like I want to say because as a teenager, when I would take her to the ER multiple times, many many times, I did, and like people were mean to her. And they were judging her, but that's my fucking mom. Sorry, that's my mom. Like it would make me mad because I wouldn't know how to like but she also when she passed, like, at her funeral, like, the thing that stood out was that there were all these people there from AA and from all different places and walks, and, like, everyone said the same thing, essentially, like, she would give you their shirt off her back. Like, that's like, she would do anything for anybody. She had that demon that, like, ruled her, like, she couldn't do the one thing she wanted most, which is to be a good mom. She wasn't I mean, she did make some serious mistakes, but, like, Um, she would still give you the shirt off her back, and that's what that reminded me of.
Hmm. It's interesting. The thing that pops out as the difference between these two translations is this. There's something very stark in here about if you want to get right with thou, help people, don't hurt them. But there are times where when you're helping people, you're hurting people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we have to recognize, like, what is it we're doing? We want to
With
be able to recognize, like, how do I get right with this?
Mhm.
Is this am, am I doing something from a place of is this me being lived by Tao, or is this me being controlled by an influence? And is this actually helping, or is this hurting? And really looking at our actions and be like, well, doing for others, like we can go like the master, like if you want to do get right with God, help other people. Like we stop there. Okay, help other people. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and help all these people do all these things, but that could, you can help a corporation, right? You can help people that, I worked for a company that did not do, I don't want to say didn't do any good, but I worked for a small startup that, conglomerated food and did all these things for small farms, and really they talked a good game. They didn't actually do what they did. And they could go out and say yes, they were helping people. They could say that. And I could say, well, I'm helping this small company and I'm helping these farms and I'm helping kids get food. But in the end, we were also utilizing resources that probably could have been utilized in a better way. Now, were we helping people? Yes. Were we hurting people? That's hard to say, but like, I know there could be a better use of our time.
The motivation was good, though? The intention was good?
I'm sure it was at some point,
Yeah.
you know? And it's always about that. It's always about like the fact that it puts in here in this translation, help other people, don't hurt them. And other people mean both sides of the fence, right? Like if you're doing something to help people, but you're also hurting people in the process, is that like, do you have to justify that? And that's when we get back to the Stephen Mitchell eloquent words. True words aren't eloquent, eloquent words aren't true. If you have to persuade people that it's okay to hurt these other people, i.e., you and I were just talking about drugs and other things like that,
Mm.
like you know, um, the whole drug war
Mhm.
needs eloquent words, needs persuasive words, needs verbiage that allows people to justify harming others and justify taking respect away from people.
I could go on for about that drug war thing, but the better thing to say is that not hurting people, help people, but and not hurt people. Also, you're a people, right? Like I,
Right.
I tell my kids that a lot. Like, don't be mean to like yourself either. Like, you're one of my children. Like, you have to be nice. Well, you don't have to, but be nice to you too because you're my kid, and I want you to be nice to all my kids, like including
Right.
yourself. It's
Yeah, I tell my friends all the time, be nice to my buddy.
yeah, exactly. Don't forget about you.
Yeah. Like the master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. And and I've said this multiple times, when you care for yourself, you're doing for others. When you put yourself first, you're doing for others. The more you give to others, the wealthier he is. The reason that you can give to others at all is because you have given to yourself.
It's so flippin' difficult. It is difficult.
The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating, the master leads. When we talk about that not forcing, we go back to that first line, true words aren't eloquent, eloquent words aren't. You don't have to persuade anybody. You don't force people to get to where you are. You don't force people to understand. You don't force people to grow.
I imagine a person like putting their hand out to like a bird or a bunny or something and just allowing it to come to them. Like that
Right.
gentleness, that like reassurance, that kindness is what gets you to the place of petting the bunny,
That's right. That's right.
patience and love.
You just take that, you take it slow. You don't force it.
Yeah.
And it will step towards you, whether that's abundance or luck or love.
Thank you, Martin John.
Thank you, Kelly. You are awesome. Energy Lady is going to come up.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Are y'all rejuvenated now?
Well, we'll see. Yesterday I was pretty wiped out after I did a couple, but we'll see. I feel like I have a little more stamina today. I'm gonna be doing, I don't know if you know Miriam. She's gonna talk to me at noon, I think, about men and mental health. I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but like that's the topic. So we'll see. Like hopefully I'm mentally healthy enough to have that conversation.
You know what? I get that.
So
We
I don't
can't
know. I don't know why
control how it
I don't
goes, but
I don't know why mental health needs to be gender specific, but we'll find out.
I love that statement because
Yeah.
it is a definite, really good what?
Yeah.
'Cause-
I'm a part of this men's ESN network thing, or an ESN emotional support network thing, and there was this ridiculous question by the group recently of like, does this thing, whatever this thing was maybe not having a job or whatever, something like make you less of a man? And I was just like, the only thing that
what?
makes you less of a man is choosing to be a woman or non-gender, identified. Like it's the only way that you can be less of a man, whatever that means. And
Right.
it was,
It's
it's
when
just
you
like,
decide not to be one.
right, that's it. Like that's it.
And it
Like
doesn't
I don't
matter.
care.
There's no
Yeah,
judgment. The bottom
right.
line is that's it.
Yeah, and that question like presupposes that other people's ideas are more important than your own, and I was like, wait, that is that is so out of left field, boys. And it's like I can't believe that I'm part of a like I don't know if I'm gonna stay part of the group, to be quite honest, but I can't believe that I'm sitting here part of a group that would think that that's a legitimate way to form a question. Like so I'm really kind of being like, I'm gonna be hosting a group on I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, so it's either tomorrow or Thursday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. On Clubhouse, and after I host that, I'll really kind of feel out if I want to continue throwing a ball around with these guys.
I can imagine. Well, there's something here for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in it. But
I hear that.
it's always interesting to say, okay, and what is it?
Yeah, and like if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Yeah, you know what? That's it right there. And people do look for the smartest guys so that they can feed off of them. So,
Yeah, but
and there is no smartest guy, so it gets very confusing.
yeah, no, I get that. All right, so you got a number?
No, I just want to chat. Yes, I do. I'm kidding. 65.
65. 65.
I
Where are
was
you
on my
at?
way
There you
on my way back, and something said, "Oh, Kelly's on. Okay, go." I went, "All right."
In ancient times, leaders who were right with Tao didn't teach everybody how to become enlightened. They kept people's lives simple. People who knew too much can't people who know too much can't be taught anything. Leaders who try to be clever always screw things up. Leaders who keep things simple always make things right. If you get that, you'll understand the mysterious power of Tao. That kind of power is so deep, so extensive, it penetrates into every level of existence. That's nice.
Okay, I'm hanging up now. Bye.
Yeah, please. No, yeah, I think that's a, like I can't, this one is such a beautiful way of bringing the end back to the beginning again. It penetrates every level of existence. Every level of existence. And so in ancient times, leaders who were right with Tao didn't teach everybody how to become enlightened. They kept people's lives simple because they know that kind of power is so deep and so extensive that it penetrates into every level of existence. You don't have to, you know, we we often in our homocentric sort of lives don't really see ourselves as equal to like all of the animals and the plants and everything, right? But we are.
Of course we are.
It's not that we're their owners, right? Like, why is owning a life at all something that we can easily talk about? And we can just be like, this is my dog or my cat or my thing. I mean, I do say I have a cat, but my cat is, its own being, and I don't have to teach the cat anything.
You don't
The
have to
cat
teach him to
teaches
be a
me.
cat?
I mean, she teaches me everything all the
Yeah.
time. I
Right.
watch her just meditate, and I'm like, man, you're good at that.
Right?
So good. So good at that.
Yes. And sometimes I tell my cat to meditate. No, I'm kidding. I just sit there and I say, "Will you teach me some things?" But I got to
Yeah.
tell you what this is saying, and I want to say this, is that I was taking my walk and I sat there and I said, "Okay, my head is spinning, and they're like, just open up, just open up." So I'm walking. I swear, thank God I wear headsets because somebody might commit me. They don't know I have music on. And I realized, I sat there and I said, "What is it that I'm not seeing that I want to see? What is this?" And here you are sharing with me, because you're not telling me anything. Um, the playfulness is the key. The playfulness is the key. And I'm thinking it's too simple. And you're saying, no, right now you're reading it. It's like, no, it's not too simple. That's the key. And the reason that is, Martin John, is because I've been around so many people and I know why, but I've been following people who claim to know and claim to they have the answers. I don't care what it is, coaches, teachers, people, financial people who know more, that kind of thing. And I had always gone towards them thinking they know more than me. And I know consciously that's not true, but my heart keeps saying no, they know more because they're fluent, or they get on like this app. I'll just say this app. They know the answer, or whatever, And I'm like, no. Playfulness is the key. Keep it that simple, because I do know a lot of stuff, just like you do. I mean, whatever we've gained, that's our knowing. But who cares? In my opinion, for me, who cares?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because we can't. Like you were just saying with that whole group, it's like if I'm the smartest one, I need to go away because I ain't going to learn nothing and it's not going to be fun. And I've been around people like that. I got people who look up to me, which, by the way, unnerving because then I have no conversation. And then I've got people who say they know more than me and want to put me in my position. And I'm like, can we just play? And I thought playfulness was too small. And you just said, no, it's not. You read that book and it said, no, it's not.
All right. They keep people's lives simple, and the reason that you
Yes.
do that is because, and it goes on to say, people who know too much can't be taught anything.
Right. And you know me enough to know that I love learning. And see, that's the thing is that, oh, wow. When I started doing what I was doing 25 years ago, people looked up to me as if I'm knowing. So that when my world started falling apart with everything with my son and everything else, my mom dying, people started judging me for that. I think that's still in my head. That just saying this right now, I think that's still in my head that you have to be something before we'll hear you. Okay, I'm good. I don't have that a lot on this app. I've met enough people like you and other people who aren't that way. But that's in the back of my head going, it's coming forward. No, we can't
Right.
be perfect. You know that. It's like if people look at you with the Tao and say, oh, he's got all the answers. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to go somewhere else now.
Yeah, because like for me, I definitely don't want people like living under my influence, and that's why.
Well, and
I,
people do, and you know that.
well, I don't want them living under my influence. I don't mind them being influenced by me. I don't
Right.
mind them. I don't mind being an influence. I just don't want people living under my influence, meaning they think of what I think before they act. Because
And
like
I have friends who do that. I've had friends who do that. And then when it doesn't fit their protocol, then they start trashing me and belittling me. And I think that's what's coming up right now because of what you're reading. I honestly, in my need, and I'm going to say need in a very light way, and it's more about, are you hearing this? To myself. I need to stay in the playfulness, the lightness, the fluff of it, and I know what I mean by fluff and the lightheartedness. What I have in front of me is so lighthearted that I can actually enjoy my life for the rest of my life.
right.
And I keep making it more complicated because I'm trying to, the word prove comes there. I don't know to who. Okay, I don't. But I know it's in my inside of me. So yeah, that's the key. All right, let's keep going because I know my
Yeah,
time
the
is going to
next
go
two lines
wee.
are interesting. The next two lines are interesting because this comes after people who are taught who know too much can't be taught anything. Leaders who try to be clever always screw things up. Leaders who keep things simple always make things right.
My simpleness, that's what I shut down. Biscuit, because when you're simple, well, okay, I'm going to say when I'm simple, because I ain't going to talk for you, okay, just so you know. When I'm simple, it exposes people. I just saw that. And I'm not trying to expose people. When I say something simple, they're like, how come you didn't fluff that? How come you didn't sugarcoat that? Which is when my mom said, stop lying. So all of this is coming up to, you're seeing this. And it's more about me seeing it so I can see, as I consider the lie, so I can honor me. That's why they kept saying when I was walking, open up more, more, more.
Yeah. And like that idea of like being clever. Leaders who try to be clever always
Yeah, what
screw
is that
things
for
up.
you?
For me, that just means like you're thinking. You're thinking, what did they want? What did they need from me? What am I supposed to be doing? And you take all that knowledge that you picked up and you line it up and you say, this is what the answer is. And now that I have an answer, I have a place to cement a foundation, right?
So
I
there's
can
no
build a
growth.
foundation, and being clever is trying to be safe. It's trying to be like, oh, look, I figured this out. And it's like, no, there's nothing to figure out.
That
Being
makes so
here
much
at this
sense.
moment is what we figure out. And I know, like so much of what we talk about like revolves around like everything's going to change and everything's going to evolve, but we want to have that childlike, not childish, but that childlike intrigue to this moment. Because when we can do that, we can, being once again like a child, we don't know too much. And we just want to, like you say, play. We want to be in the mix.
That's
and
in the.
want to
I was going
be,
to say, be in the moment. That's what I was
yeah,
thinking. Is be
right,
in the moment, and life will show me me. Because
right.
that's all I want to keep living is my life, and stop living everybody else's life. And people say, "Why don't you just do that?" And I'm like, no. You know, people. Somebody. I had a nice little chat with somebody about permission, giving yourself permission. You don't have to give yourself permission. I said, well, in your understanding, you don't. But I understand what that means to me.
Right.
I just understand. Well, you don't have to just do it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a guy. And no, my life experience doesn't have that. But it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because his understanding is different than my understanding, and that's okay. But he's like, stop giving yourself permission. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
because I know what it means. I know what it means to me. It's a fun understanding of, oh man, okay, I'm going to unplug from that circuit and go to the next one. That's as simple as it is. I can? I'm allowed to? It's like a little kid. Can I? Can I? Can I? That's what permission is to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And and anybody that is going to shut down to the idea that they don't need permission to do something has not really looked inside themselves and saw anything. And that's the thing. Each and every one of us are going to have to deal with this vocabulary of bullshit that we have in our lives to try and communicate to one another. But that's being clever, right? Leaders who try to be clever and come up with the right word. The thing is your words and my words will never intersect.
Right, which is
And
why I do the smiling word of the day. I love listening to other people's languages.
yeah,
I
and
do, I
it's a
really do,
beautiful, yeah.
and it's been going on. Yesterday was 2.5 hours. I'm like, thank God I had something
Wow.
else to do, and it's
Yeah.
only because we're playing and having fun. And you know what? This whole thing today, our conversation right now, is perfect because I have somebody coming over who's very analytical. Very. I'm only doing this special, not special, but this talk today with him simply because he has requested it, but I don't see a reason for it. So it's going to be very interesting. If I keep it really simple, I'm going to be very interested to see what he does. Because I am keeping it simple.
Good.
Oh, there's no way I can't. I'll be laughing.
Yeah.
Did we finish it or not?
It just finishes up. If you get that, you'll understand the mysterious power of Tao. That kind
Okay.
of power is so deep, so extensive, it penetrates into every level of existence. Thank you. That was beautiful. And that's where it ends. I think that's a beautiful place. Graciela going to join us. We had such a great group of people today. Not that if anybody else was here, it wouldn't be
Good
great.
morning.
Good morning, dear. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. Still feeling the effects of my weekend, but I am up and around and feeling good about sharing the Tao and about what's up tonight. I'm going to meet a friend of mine's mom today. So that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds serious.
No. This is a friend of mine I've had for, I don't know, since
Okay.
2014,
It's okay. It's
2013,
okay. It's okay,
2014.
Martin. Just breathe in.
No. I just mean I've met her before, just not in person.
Okay, fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will do number 25 today.
25.
And if you don't mind, I would like to ask you to share that with me on a text because I'm going to share it with
Yeah,
someone. So, can you do that?
absolutely.
Awesome. What is it?
It says, there was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present.
Mm-hmm.
It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It
Oof.
flows through all things, inside and outside. It returns to the origin of all things. The Tao is great. The universe is great. Earth is great. Man is great. These are the four great powers. Man follows the earth. Earth follows the universe. The universe follows the Tao. And Tao follows only itself.
Wow. Hang on. What a Tao! Oh my goodness. That was so good. It's only Tuesday, but it's been a wonderful week thanks to the Tao.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. What are you hearing in this that is?
Ooh, it's just so powerful. I mean, it is so powerful. The very last part we're talking, I mean, it doesn't say it in so many words, but consider the four elements, right? Earth, water, fire, and what's the other one? Oh my gosh,
Air,
air, water, fire, and
Earth.
earth.
You
That's
missed,
right.
yeah, you missed air
Yeah.
last time. You missed Earth this time.
Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that. And so it's, it just speaks to me and what I do in my own journey and, oh, I love it. You can go through it, but
Yeah, I
it's up
want to
to you.
start at the end just like you did, and I want to,
Mm,
yes, fire, earth,
hmm.
air, water, all of
Yeah.
the elements, right? Like all of
So
these
let's
are
see.
within
According
us.
to that line, which would be which? I feel like the Tao was fire, the way that I was thinking it when you said it, and then
Well,
the
I'm going to think
universe
of
was
it.
air.
Yeah, I'm going to think of it a little differently.
Tell
Just
me.
because Earth is in there, and that's like that's rock and what have you.
So
And I'm going
so
to
Earth
look
is
at it.
Earth.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it from the masculine feminine stacking, right? Like one to the next to the next to the next.
Okay.
Because everything but the Tao has an edge.
Hmm.
So the Tao is the great mother. That is the birth of all things with no edge.
Hmm.
Beyond the
That's
universe exists the Tao, and without the edge, and the edge is the masculine. As soon as you reach the edge, so you're in Tao, you're in the great mother, you reach the edge of the universe, and that is the first masculine to exist. Here we walk into the masculine structure of the
right.
universe. And as we enter into yet again the Tao. The Tao is the space that fills up the structure
Hmm.
of the universe. And so now we are
Hmm.
inside. Now we enter into that grand feminine open space. And what do we see? We see the earth, the next masculine. And then we enter the earth. And as we enter and we find ourselves in a new environment, but that new environment is yet again filled with space. That space
Hmm.
is the
Hmm.
Tao, and we are here in space, and we arrive at another edge, and the edge is man. And when we find that,
Right.
we enter that, and in that yet again is space, and that is Tao. And that's how I see it, this infinitely kind of finding another edge, and inside is yet what? Tao.
Tao.
Inside
Right.
of the cell in the man
Yep.
is space, Tao. And that is such a beautiful sort of way of being able to kind of dive into. And so now we start this piece with that in mind. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born.
Hmm.
That brings us all the way back outside of the universe,
Hmm.
outside of the edge
Hmm.
of the universe. It is
Hmm.
serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, and eternally present. Eternally present. How can it be eternally present? Well, we found that every time we find an edge, that edge is just holding more Tao.
Hmm. Hmm. The Tao within the Tao within the Tao within the Tao. And
Yeah.
then I agree. Thank you for that. I love how the passion just comes through when you speak about this. I love it so much. You could talk to me about the Tao all freaking day. Uh, however, in my own journey and in my own practice, I disagree with some of the views when it comes to the fundamental things because Earth is not masculine for me. And in my practice, Earth is Mother Earth. Earth is very much feminine. And also, um, I belong to the school of thought that defines the divine feminine as the creator, and then the divine masculine is, her consort, and he is that like leveling down, restful, open embrace where you come to rest. She's the one that goes, and really has the say. And so it's just different, different schools of thought. It's still incredibly fascinating, and they all conglomerate and they all weave in together, right? It's that incredible tapestry that the shaman talks about. But it's So powerful. And now I want it in my text message even more because I want to be able to really sit with this. But please keep going.
Yeah. So Tao, as we're talking about, is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it Tao.
Mhm, mhm.
It flows through all things, inside and outside. It returns to the origin and returns to the origin of all things.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like as I was
I mean,
speaking of
we
it, how
we
I
we
understand.
are returning, right? We are returning home.
Right.
It makes sense. I see that spiral just like pulling us in, but it's not pulling us. It's like it's just simply like circling in itself and we just keep going in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like and at every level, you reach and like as I was expressing, and I don't, like I mean I know that you see things a little differently, but like as I was expressing this idea of
Hmm.
like from the outside yields the space, from the edge yields
Hmm.
the Tao, from the edge,
Hmm.
and at every edge we yield to that, right? Like, so the edge
Right.
of whatever the universe then yields the Tao within the space. It's kind of like a house, right? You have a house and then you walk inside the house and you are in the house, but you are not in the
Yes.
walls. You are not in the thing that is you are in the space, and the
Hmm.
space was always there. The space was always there. You just
Yeah,
separated it. You just separated it with walls.
I also see it as like bringing that whole concept to like both feet on the ground, my experience. All of these edges are all of these things that I do, my hands. What are my hands doing? I just posted about this on a blog. Um, a little assessment to bring ourselves back like from our head to like our body, right? Mindfulness practice.
All right.
And I love the concept of just, these are all edges too. Everything that my eye sees as an object, these are all edges. And how do I approach them? How do I see um, beyond the present moment to really be in alignment and to really follow suit to the Tao and the rhythm of it all, the rhythm of the earth and the spirit and so on and so forth and Jesus.
Yeah. And that's what we move to in the next lines, where it says the Tao is great, the universe is
Mhm.
great, earth is great, man is great. These are the four great powers. And man isn't human
Yes.
beings, right? It is animals and aliens and fish, and that's just beings, right? Like beings are great, right? Like everything
Mhm.
plants are great. Like everything that the earth had birthed is great. And so, right, like, so the Tao is great, the universe is great, so are all of the other universes that are out there. The earth is great, so are all of the other planets out there, right?
Mm.
The man is great, so are all of the other beings out there. These are the four great powers, and there are no other powers, right? Like we do this, like that's where the Tao resides in all of
Yeah.
this. Man follows the earth being man's mother. Earth follows the
Mhm.
universe being the mother of the earth. The
Mhm.
universe follows the Tao being the mother of the universe, the mother of the earth, the mother of the man. And Tao follows only itself, the ultimate great mother.
Ding ding ding. Hang on. I'm far away
Yeah.
from it. Yay. Okay. I misplaced it for a few days and I felt so incomplete. I was like, where the heck did it go? I was like, Elijah, where's the bell? But he doesn't even remember what that is. And
Oh,
I finally found it and I was
well, I'm
so
glad.
happy.
I love it when we get to hear the bells. So,
Yay. All
oh,
right. So
going through
thanks
the
so
Tao with you
much.
is so great. It is already in
Mm.
Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome because I'm
It
going to
is already
share it.
something.
Very powerful indeed. And I'm very glad that I was inspired to pick that number. And so, yeah, I'll be
All right.
around. I'm going to come back to
You
do the
guys
book
have a
club
wonderful day.
later. Oh, I want to ask you, have you
Yeah, shoot.
Have you been listening to the book club before bedtime?
I have not. I have been ever since the dark retreat, I have really kind of quieted down a lot of things. So I have to admit that I have not.
Oh, I
What's
want
going
to
on in book
talk
club?
about that. I want to talk about that in private because
Oh,
my own coach Sally mentioned something like that to me, and then I felt it, and I'm so busy with other things that I can't come as often as I want to. It really sucks, but
yeah.
anyway, and I mean to wisdom, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get
Um,
that. Yeah, I mean,
mhm.
I've like when coming back has really kind of settled some things for me, and
Of course, as expected.
just life in general has like
Yes,
the people that are, you know, like coming to the surface in my life now are I don't know, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot.
yes. Well, I have no doubt that there was some exponential growth in those 6 days or 5 days that you were in there. I have absolutely no doubt, and I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to explore more in private or whatever,
Yeah.
on a call. But so, what was I going to say? Okay, the book club. I'm very interested because we're reading Happy Not Perfect by Poppy Jamie, and she talks about the four brains. So the first brain is the mind, the second brain is the gut, the third brain is the heart, and the fourth brain is the musculature. And then yesterday in my Moving Forward Mondays support group, we challenged her on Twitter because we would like to talk about a fifth brain, which is the wisdom brain, which is the connection of everything, all of the trauma, life experience, whatnot, that really you bring to the surface in the moment, and then it's like it helps you make a decision between all the four brains, I feel like. And so nothing, I'm just geeking out about it and wanted to share with you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I don't
Mm.
you know, like that's interesting because I don't know of a neural net in our musculature.
So the
So I'm
vagus nerve, yeah, the neural, yeah, it's interesting how you say neural net. Yeah, I'll send you the chapter because my time
yeah,
is
please
running
do.
out and you might have someone in line, but yeah, I'll send you the chapter and we'll follow up.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah, please do. I'll check it out.
Bye, love. Have a great day.
Bye bye. You have a wonderful day. Yeah,
You
you know,
too.
I'm intrigued. You know, because we do have muscle memory, right? That is something that we have, and
Yeah.
I'm just going off and talking now. So we do have muscle memory, and I get that, and so
Hmm.
that is as far as I know connected to the basal ganglia,
Hmm.
which is in the head. So interesting. No, I'll definitely check it out.
Yes, awesome. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. So yeah, I mean, I talk about four brains as well: gut, heart, head, and the spirit brain is what I talk about in my work. And so, just being able to kind of figure out, you know, like hear what other people have to say about it is a wonderful thing, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So, Graciela, thank you so much for that. For anybody that's listening, I am Martin John. I host the Recover Yourself podcast, and I have workshops coming up. So if you're interested, starting next Tuesday, so 1 week from today, I have a workshop, a Recover Yourself workshop, and this helps you really identify your triggers and how you can grow out from under the influence. All of your triggers are being held under the influence of something or another, and I would love to be able to chat with you about and to help you kind of pinpoint those and get out from under the influence. Andy Scarantino is going to be joining me now. Andy,
Good morning.
good morning.
I haven't been listening, so I don't know what numbers have been picked.
Well, why don't you pick a number, and then I'll tell you to shove it if you. No, of course not. Like this is yours. Come on, you don't have to listen to join me on the Dow. How's your morning been? Have you run already?
No, not yet. I wrote an email.
You wrote an email. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so that was fine.
Did you
And
sleep well?
I did. I was very excited about that.
That's good. That's good. Sleeping well is important to healing.
I think so. Yeah. And so is the Recover Yourself workshop, which apparently is
Yeah.
happening this week.
Well, I'm doing a walkthrough. We're going to be doing a walkthrough, but I'm doing on the 17th, 24th, 31st, 7th, I think. Yeah, those like every Tuesday from now until sometime mid-June, I'll be doing workshops, and they're pretty awesome.
Well,
Pretty
I've been
awesome.
talking to you about the Recover Yourself workshop now for quite some time, and I am excited to. I'm excited to hear about how this group goes because I know you uncover some big stuff. So I know people are
Yeah,
going to
it's
really like it. It's going to be amazing. And then, of course, there's going to be the emotional hangover.
There's
Because
always an emotional hangover. This is why I offer, depending on the size, I offer a free 30 minutes follow up. If I have less than 10 people, if there are more than 10 people, I do kind of a draw, and then people can buy my time because
yeah,
my
for
time is
sure.
valuable.
Yeah, and I think that that's what people like. You go into a situation like that, and I am going to give you a number. I'm sorry, but you go into a
No, no, no.
situation like that, and people
This is
might think, oh,
rapport. I learned all about that from you.
rapport. Yes, rapport is so important. Um, but you go into these sort of situations like I had with and I started my power hours last Friday, and the people that I worked with, I think came in to expect feeling like very happy when they left, and then they felt very like, and it's good, it's good. It's good because
Yes.
when you shed all of that stuff, I know you've been talking a lot over the last 2 days about your run this last weekend and the parts
Oh,
of
yeah.
you that are dying and falling away. And once that happens, you just see so much light, and you're more aligned with the Tao, the path,
Yes.
the way, the way of love. Anyway.
Yes, it's amazing to be able to let that go and figure out, and just not figure out. I don't want to use the word figure out, but like observe what is being unearthed. Like it's kind of like shedding, like the shedding of a skin of a fucking like of a lizard or a snake or something. It's like you're growing spiritually, and so you got to shed this old identity.
Hmm. Yeah, Ram Dass talks about that. Well, everybody, like all of these people talk about this, but it's really true that it's actually death. Like it's in the cells of your body. Like it's we carry it, and like when you shed it, it feels physical.
Yeah.
And people will always say, "Oh, it's not," but it is. It feels very physical. The body is the vehicle that we're just driving around through this interesting life, and there are physical reactions in the body that take place, and people want to revolt against them, but it's just, now let's just go through it. What the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just kind of observe it. Just watch it. Just sit there. Don't judge it. Don't say, I'm sad. Just be sad and just be in it. They don't have to identify it. Just kind of be there. Cry. That's what I did. Sat around crying, cried and cried and cried. No idea what the hell that was about, but
Oh,
we
it
did it.
sounds marvelous.
We did it. We did it. So,
Mm. Has anyone picked number 80?
no, not today.
Okay, well, that's the one I would like.
Okay, 80. And we're going to just go with Stephen Mitchell because that's a classic. Classic Stephen
I
Mitchell.
like that Stephen Mitchell uses the she. So,
Yes, he does. Okay. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but they don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close, and people can hear the roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it.
oh, I love this. I love this, and it speaks such volumes to this idea of the one of the types of people that I'll often come across in my work, and I've been guilty of being this type of person, is the restless person, and the person that wants to go out to find or discover something, and we see that a lot with social media. So we see people taking photos of themselves all over the world, and then we see people that have like such envy toward it. And I always return to that sentence that I don't know who actually said it, and I might be bastardizing or butchering it or whatever the fuck, but it's the only zen at the top of the mountain is the zen you bring up there with you. Like, it's and people, I love that. What was the first two lines about before we got into the people eating their food and enjoying each other and the boats that don't go anywhere? What was the first?
If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the
Mm.
labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines.
Mm. Yeah, I resonate with that, especially with the society that we are. Here in the West, it's all about production and just constant producing and constant um trying
Performance
to
evaluation.
performance evaluation, correct, all of that. And what does that lead us except dissatisfaction? And what are we really doing? Like, it's hamsters on wheels. We're ants building hills and equate our value to that. And
Mm.
people are not just satisfied with the just being, because there isn't anything external you're gonna that's gonna bring you peace or happiness. And if the people know that, yeah.
Yeah. See, like that's the thing. Like this is a like everything that we try and get people addicted to is just helping keep this dying show on the road. I like that
Hmm.
phrase, right? We are living like as a Western consumer society. We are living in a dying like it is impossible to sustain. This is a dying like experience. Like this experience is not going to bring us much further, and we know that, and we just keep trying to get people addicted so that we can shut them down and we can. But like here, as it's talking, like imagine if you like when I look at being if I look at like ever owning property, the property that I want to own, I want to be mine. Whatever that means. I just want to be mine. I don't want to I want to love where I'm at. I don't want it to be anything. I want to love it.
Mm.
And I want to be there. And I want to make that like, whether it's like outside and just like in my or in the grass, sitting near a tree, by the river, or whatever, like just be here. And then not do anything to it. Allow it to be what it is.
Hmm.
Like that. This is the doing nothing. And doing nothing, and here it says like dearly love their homes, or like enjoy the labor of their hands, just doing something. Oh, this is broken, well, let's go fix it. And
I
that's
like
what my day is.
I love the line about the food, and I want to apply that to like
Hmm.
right now in society, because I've like I work with women usually have body image or like really distorted relationships with that. And I look out into the world, and a lot of times people will go on to like diets, and what they'll do is they'll try to make every fucking meal this Michelin star experience. And it's like, does anybody really relate to the feeling? As a runner, I relate to this very well. Does anyone really anymore relate to the feeling of nourishing themselves? Like, to
Right.
feel like I'm depleted of sustenance, and then I take a piece of the world. I take a piece of the Divine Mother. I've talked about this in the Tao before, in Tao the day before, and I put it into my body, and I feel life. And just to be, and it doesn't have to be this production, this production. Like, people want to make everything a production. You see this a lot because I live in New York City, for that, but I don't know
Hmm.
who's listening or who knows me. And you see all of this, like the foodies, like the people going to all of these different, and there's nothing wrong with that. but we've lost the art of being. Like, I'm here to be, and I do this because it aids in my being. And yes, that too is being, but I think a lot of times people get lost in the drug of what's the word? Like that drug of I need this experience to be more. Like, I need more out of this experience. I need to doctor it up. I need to put a bow on it. And it's like, that's fine. You can do that, but it's no different then than like you talk about, like opponent process. What's people will get worn out on it, and then the appreciation dies, just like the appreciation dies for alcoholic beverages. Like, you don't get that same feeling after the first 20 times. And it's the same with, you don't get that same feeling the more you go to exotic locations in the world,
Right. You
because you're
just like it's
constantly,
you're
go ahead.
constantly upping your need for dopamine because these
Mhm.
things are just feeding you some shit pleasure for the
Mhm.
moment. And you can go travel and you can go do all of these things, but like when you can just be content being right here, you dumb son of a bitch.
Yes, you dumb son of a bitch. And the West, and we're going to go back to the country, that 80 is
Mm-hmm.
talking about. The West and this country, America, we're not governed. What does he say? Governed wisely. What was the exact line when
If
it
a
comes?
country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content.
Right. Yes. And we're not, because we're not governed wisely, because it's the more, 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 more.
Right.
Consumer culture,
Yeah.
consumer driven. And you can see it everywhere here. And it's, fuck, I love the Dow.
Yes.
I fucking love it. It's great.
And this is the thing, like as we read through this, since they dearly love their homes, and why do they love their homes? Because they enjoy labor, they enjoy doing labor with their hands. So when their house gets fucked up, they just go back and fix it. They don't put it off. Why would you put it off because you love your home? So many people today love their home and they just see something break and they're like, "Well, I'm just going to leave that." Why? Because I'd rather go out to a restaurant and have someone else cook for me so I can post something on Instagram and get my little stupid fucking piece of dopamine.
Yeah, it's true, though.
And
It's
that's the thing.
true.
People don't understand. Just be here now with this thing that's in front of you. There may be wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. Like, yeah, there's a boat and there's a wagon just sitting in the weeds over there. Everything's growing up around it. Why? Well, you're not taking care of that. I don't need that wagon, you dumb son of a bitch. I'm just
But,
gonna go down to the river and catch my food. I'm gonna bring it back home. I'm gonna do the work.
I mean, you've done, and just because the dark retreat, I know, it's
Yeah,
still recent for you, and I drove across the country last year.
yeah,
It doesn't matter what's happening outside of you, whether it's everything, like in my case, or nothing in your case.
yeah,
The internal reality is the
yeah.
reality. So it doesn't matter where the fuck you go.
That's right. That's right. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, calling you, right? It's just calling you. They are content to die of old age without ever having seen it. Can you imagine being called by this great restaurant every fucking day and just saying, "No, I'm good"? That's what we get every day with every little bit of social media, every little bit of advertising. We're getting called
Mhm.
and called and called. Can you be
Yep.
content without going to see it?
Yeah. I don't have to consume, I can just be. Thank you for 80.
Thank you so much. And yes, just be Andy, Graciela, and Energy Lady, Kelly, Marcy, everybody. Just be you because we need you. Lois is going to come up next, and I am so grateful for today. And wow, 80 is so beautiful, and I couldn't have picked a better person to go through it with. Andy, wonderful way of going through it. I so appreciate you. Lois, how you doing, girl?
Hey, Marjan, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm all right. You are chill. What's up?
I'm chill.
Yeah, you're chill. How you
I,
feeling?
you know what? I feel good. I actually really feel good. I'm just like, hey, it's like that
All
feeling.
right.
I just got up.
I know that feeling. I
I
can
normally,
hear it.
I normally get up at 4:30 and all that kind of stuff, but I had long weekend last weekend. So yesterday we got up early and then went back to sleep. I fell asleep on you, and then got up
That's
early again today and went back to sleep. So I'm
good.
good. I'm good.
I
I'm
was
just getting
just,
the rest I need.
Andy said she had a really good night's sleep last night. So, like, it's time. Right now, like the new moon is a little behind us now. And so we can just really kind of settle into this new phase right now, just where we're at,
Yeah,
just be here now.
yeah. And that's what it is. I'm here now. That's like it feel like the hustle and bustle of the excitement of and it's like it's not like a down. It's like I can breathe again. It was so much fun being that high for so long. You know what I'm saying? But the weekend with my sister here, and we just had
Hmm.
so freaking much fun. I mean, we just had a ball, and then Mother's
You
Day,
guys, you guys did that dancing thing, right?
yeah,
How
and then
was that?
Mother's
The
Day was
line dancing?
oh my God, oh my man. I'm gonna say this. I know that I didn't know many line dances, but when I went there, they made me know that all the line dances I knew were so old and antiquated, it was ridiculous. Now this fancy footwork is so funky fresh. I'm gonna call it funky fresh. I can't think of nothing else to call it
Jesus.
because it's badass. Man,
Oh
tripping on.
man.
We were laughing because we were tripping over our feet trying to get the steps and try. Man, and too much in our head. It was so much fun though, and
Oh,
it was
that's the way.
like 500 people came and stuff, and the whole they laid it out. It was called 5, 6, 7, 8 dance. And they laid it out. The first night was really nice, where we meet and greet and learn some dances. And the second day we was at the bowling alley, learn more dances. And well, they knew the dances already. Okay. And I'm like, we didn't get the assignment. Or I didn't understand the assignment. I should have watched the video and learned something, at least for the new one. But my goal was, after finding out that I didn't know anything, is to learn at least one and bring it home. And I got one all the
Yeah.
way down. Okay.
That's right. Now you can just like now you can use it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it because I actually my sister, she went on the hunt when we figured out that hell we didn't know shit. Okay, she went on the hunt to find out where the dances are in our prospective cities, so we can go get some practice. So when we come together again, we can teach each other and compare.
That's what you got to do. Like you got, get into it. Be
Man,
here, be
that's
here and
right.
do that thing. And if and when that becomes a bore, drop it. You ain't got to
Oh
stick around.
man, you ain't got to worry about it. The Lord should drop a bore in a minute, but
I'm telling you.
yeah, but it was a fantastic time. Met some beautiful people. Did some, and I'll call it ministering. Did some beautiful ministering to several
Hmm.
people, and one person I was actually so grateful. They came and gave me something. I tried to give it back, and then I remember I just told Daryl and them, when people want to give you something, you let them give it to you, because when you don't receive it, you're cutting off your blessing from receiving, and you're cutting off theirs from trying to show appreciation.
I'm
So
telling you.
so
You
yeah, so I
gotta you
accepted
gotta
the
receive.
token. Yes, and because I'm not used to that, I'm just not used to it. I'm used to self
No.
sufficiency and all that kind of stuff. But that's
Yeah,
what the hell got me sick, because I didn't know how to ask for the right help.
that's
So
right. That's right.
I ain't
You
doing that
gotta you
shit no
gotta be
more.
able to receive.
I
All
learned.
right.
I learned. Number 12 for some
Number
reason.
12.
But no,
Number
no,
12.
no, no, 12. I'm sorry. No, number 12.
12
I'm
was
12
yesterday, I thought.
yesterday. 12 yesterday. I didn't read it because I didn't read it. Probably number 16. I'm sorry. I'm just
16.
saying the low numbers because I don't
Okay.
mess around.
Clear your head. Stay calm. Watch as everything happens around you. Seems like that's your energy today.
hmm
Everything reverts to its original state, which is nothing. And whenever something becomes nothing, it gets right with Tao. If you don't understand that, you're going to screw up somewhere down the line. If you figure it out, you'll always know what to do. If you get right with Tao, you won't be afraid to die because you know you will.
Cool. That's so cool. Let's take it. Let's take it line by
Yeah.
line. Having a overall,
Yeah.
overall. Yeah, nothing,
Overall, it's really
nothing,
nice and we kind of like,
nothing hidden, nothing quite. Most time it hit me right away. Oh, that's what
yeah.
this is. No, it didn't hit me. So let's take it line by line.
This is a big sort of concept. And so like, line by line it says clear your head, stay calm. Watch as everything happens around you. Now this is like a demand. This is telling you clear your head, stay calm. Watch as everything happens around you. It's telling you don't Don't react to everything. Just watch it.
Yes.
Just watch
Okay.
it happen. That's it. That's all it's saying. It doesn't really go into anything more than that. Then it says everything reverts to its original state, which is nothing. So now it's kind of explaining why the fuck should I just watch everything that happens and not do something? Now it's saying, well, because everything reverts to its original state, which was nothing. And whenever something becomes nothing, it gets right with Tao. So what it's, like what I see this saying is that, look, everything is going to fall away. This too shall pass.
Right. It's this
Right?
too.
That's what they're saying
Yeah.
here. This too shall pass. So everything reverts to its original state. You say someone's angry? Well, their original state before they
Okay.
were
I
born,
see it now. I see
gone.
it. Okay. Let's hit this. Okay. Ah, I am Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Okay, and me and my sister coming off a high, and we were just having so much fun. Then on Mother's Day, when we get to our prospective children, okay, one of my daughters is not here. We know that.
Yeah.
One other daughter, she work called her out, so we had Mother's Day a day early. And the last daughter, Sharenta, she was still here, and she was unavailable because she was working. So I went from uh having so much fun to coming to celebrate, get appreciated on Mother's Day. Ain't nobody around. And I'm
Mm.
sitting there saying, what the fuck I'm gonna do? I don't have this one, I don't have that one, I don't have this one. And I sat in that bullshit. I mean, and it felt kind of funky to me after coming off a high. So I sat in the bullshit and I was like, why do I feel funky? What is this feeling? Because I know my daughters love me. I know
Yeah.
if they could have been there, they would be there. Why do I feel this bullshit feeling? So I sat with it for a little while. Then I said, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm just grieving because my daughter is not here anymore. You know, the one that passed away. So I said,
Mm.
okay, I'm gonna cry. So I let myself cry and cry, and you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out what it is because I want this feeling to go away that I'm feeling. So I started crying out, what
Mm.
the hell is going on? And so I sit with it a little longer. I said, God, you have got to help me because I don't even understand this shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Just then, I got a text from Kristen Brown. I'm calling it out. Got a text from Kristen Brown. Happy Mother's Day. Da, 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 how you da, da, da. And at that time, I didn't have anybody to call because I didn't want to call my sister and tell her what was going on with me because I was feeling some type of way because I didn't want to rain on her Mother's Day. Okay, and
Right.
couldn't call my kids because they already felt some type of way because they had to work and travel for their work. You know what I'm saying? And Brianna
Mm-hmm.
ain't here. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, who I talk to? So that's when Kristen texts. So I was like, okay, this is who I'm supposed to talk to. So I text her back and I said, she said, well, I'm with my family or whatever. And I said, okay, well, she said, I call you later. And I said, and this time, Lois said, I need to talk to somebody now. Okay.
Yes.
That's where I was. Now Lois don't ask for fucking help. Okay, I'm gonna be real.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
I'm
I'm
safe.
over the bridge. But this time I wasn't over the cliff and down in the mountain in the valley, falling on the rope or hanging, all that crazy shit you used to say back in the day. I wasn't there. I was still on top of the mountain just trying to figure this shit out. And normally I usually would fall before I figure out what it is. But because I was still there and I was letting the feelings hit me, when Kristen called, we were able to talk and we were able to identify that some type of way feeling. It
Yeah.
could be a feeling of not being wait a minute, not being acknowledged or some bullshit like that. It was bullshitty. One will say this, it was bullshitty, but because it came from my childhood. And just as she said, the feeling that you didn't matter. And the feel
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, wait a minute. My daughter did the Mother's Day before. Sharente give me a present. I matter. And then just as I said that, I looked at my arm and I had just put on the Michael Kors designer watch that the lady had given me. And and God said to me, you mattered to her. And I was like, oh my God, look at this co-creation.
Yeah.
Instantly my mood changed. I called the lady who gave me the watch and told her how instrumental she was in this healing moment for me, and how things serendipitous work. I meet her, and then I think about I need somebody. Kristen call get you know what I'm saying, and it
Yeah.
all and all I did was had not left the house yet because I figured I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I can't sit in this feeling. That was my normal response to run away from it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I said
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm gonna do it. So by sitting there, by the time Sharente did get to me and squeezed me in between her business appointments, I actually was normal, back to normal again, and I thanked her. And I was able to thank her because I told her how I felt. And I thanked her. And she's like, "What?" And she says, I said, "I thank you because the way you just had to give me the gift and how this played out. I was able to heal a part of me by just sitting with this shit, heal a part of me that was triggered for that had been triggered. Okay, and I'm gonna say this now. A
Mm-hmm.
trigger is nothing but the start of a new gun saying that you're ready to heal. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all a trigger is. So think of a trigger as the starting gun firing, saying ready, set, go, heal. Okay,
That's
not
right. Good
ready,
on you.
set, get pushed down in a hole again. No, it's
Yep.
for
Yep. Yep.
it's trigger to healing. So when it got healed, by the time Sharente got to my house, I was fine. I was actually five and high because I was going to go see the ladies that I had met, some of the people I had met before they fly off, and I was getting on my
Mm-hmm.
motorcycle for the first time since it got rewrapped again, because they messed up the wrap the
I
first time.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole thing was just by sitting there. By the end of the day, it was like I had not had nothing wrong. I was not in nothing. And the thing is, I had been healed of that,
Mm-hmm.
of that didn't matter. Because when I was a kid, I tried to run away. This is a funny story. I tried to run away from home, but I had to keep. I couldn't. I wasn't allowed to cross the street without a big person. So my ass had a little, what's that? A pillowcase tied to a string, like Opie.
Yep.
I walked around the block for about 5, 6 times. They said, "Let that fool keep walking because she ain't crossing the street." And I was like, "They're not even coming to get me." And then I hid in the basement maybe about a year till later. I wasn't going to run away again. I figured running away wasn't going to work, so I hid, and they never came
Mm-hmm.
for me. They never. 2 days I
Yeah.
was hiding in the basement. Nobody asked nothing. Nobody. I was like, "How can you be gone that long and nobody?" So that's where the didn't matter thing came from. So
Yeah.
that was able to be healed, and I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" And I didn't know that was there. So when you sit still, it'll all work. It's all the way around. This too shall pass. That funky, nasty feeling I got in the morning passed because I allow myself
Yeah.
to feel it, I allow myself to heal it, and now it's gone. And now I'm just resting and I'm just basking in the weekend and the healing, and that's what you hear. You just hear peace. That's what you hear. You
Yes.
fucking peace. So yeah, so that to me that make sit still. It come back. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how that tied into that for me, because that's what I had to do, and I didn't do what I normally would do.
As
So
this
on that,
one
go ahead.
this one continues and it says, if you don't understand that, you're gonna screw something up somewhere down the line. And that's the thing. If you didn't understand that, you might have, let yourself get angry. Like people that would
Oh
have just let themselves
man,
through,
the
right?
old Lois. I would have been pissed because I'm thinking, wait a minute, what the hell? What the shit is this shit? You got and but the thing is that I knew all of this ahead of time. So me feeling that feeling was stupid. Well, it wasn't stupid.
No, no,
Uh,
no. You
it
needed to
was
feel it, but
necessary.
you
It
didn't. You didn't
was
let it control you.
yeah, oh yeah, that's what it is. That yeah, that's true.
You saw it instead of like usually when old Lois, old Martin, shit. Like
Uh-huh.
if we feel a certain way that makes us uncomfortable, we're gonna go try and get angry, or
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
go
go
fix it. I'm
every.
gonna try to fix it. I'm gonna try to
That's
fix it.
right.
Call it.
But
Call
I'm
it.
not gonna
Wait,
know
wait.
the
Call
feeling.
it out. Wait. Here we go. I will call it out, and then I will confront it, and then I try to fix it. But this didn't need to be fixed. Wasn't nothing fixable.
Right.
Didn't need to be.
No,
Like I
no,
said,
no, no, no.
wasn't even necessary. It wasn't even necessary because the trigger was there to shoot off the starting gun for my healing.
Mm, that's
Now
right.
that's the trigger of a starting gun. Now y'all can think triggers are to set you back and all that. I welcome these triggers now.
I
What
say triggers are
oh,
treasures.
triggers are ooh baby boy. Oh, I love you. See, that's why. But yeah, triggers are treasures, and you got to treasure those triggers because without those triggers, you don't know where you need to be healed that you've missed.
Oh, perfect ending there. If you wanted to come up and land that, I don't think you need to, but I think it was beautiful. All right, we're gonna bring her up. She'll land that. Yeah, that was gorgeous. Yeah.
So my whole thing is that the trigger, like you said, triggers are treasures. And when you look at that trigger as if on a starting gun, that means you're gonna start a new race.
That's right.
You're not, that don't mean you lost the race. Cause everybody look at triggers like I've lost because they hit me where it hurts. No, you got hit where it hurts because it ain't supposed to be hurting. It needs to be healed. So get about the business of healing that pain. Cause like I said, I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. Because I really didn't.
Right.
Logically, it made no damn sense. But sitting with it allowed me to be able to work through it. And of course, I was ho'oponopono the hell out of it. I must have said ho'oponopono prayer 100 times. Okay, just
Mm-hmm.
to try to move the energy so I can get to figure out what the feeling was. So you got to do what you got to do when you feel some type of way, and that some type of way feeling or trigger is to get you healed, and because you're ready. You're ready, even though how painful it was. It was painful. I was crying my ass off yesterday morning, but I was ready to heal. And so because I was ready and allowed myself to feel what I felt, okay, and 9 times 10, I didn't feel it when I was a child. But I thank you, Martin, for that one, because that one that
Absolutely.
summed up. I was like, why did I pick that number? That don't even sound right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's all there. It's all there. Always
Yes.
is.
So thank you so much. That was right on
Absolutely.
time. Now I'm gonna finish basking in my peace. Okay.
Yeah, bask in your peace. And I know you were making some kind of breakfast while we were talking.
Yeah, I was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get my food in, but no, I'm actually reheating stuff that I already made.
That's
But
all
yeah,
right.
so
That's
I will talk to
like
you later.
yeah, we'll
Go ahead.
talk again soon, love. You have a good evening or a
All right,
good
you too.
day. What the hell?
Good
It's
day.
not even.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
have
Bye.
a 24 hours. All right, so to everybody, yes, we are talking like Lois and I just talked about triggers, and what a great topic that is. Catherine, you're in line. I'm gonna grab you right now. Just give me a couple seconds. We were talking about triggers, and triggers are at the core of the Recover Yourself workshop. So if you're interested in talking more about triggers and figuring out how to find your triggers and really locate like where those things are and how to utilize them as treasures, you're gonna want to join me in my Recover Yourself workshop. Those are happening starting next Tuesday. And I'm always open to working with anybody that is interested in learning about their triggers. Catherine, how are you? It's been so long, dear.
I'm super. I'm just super. I just
I'm
I
so
just
glad.
woke up and I'm making my first cup of coffee and I feel fabulous.
That's awesome.
I
How
know. As
is the
soon as well, as
family?
soon. Oh, my family was wonderful. Mother's Day. I want to tell you about Mother's Day, which was
Please.
really fun. But my daughter called me earlier in the week, and her sister and her had put together some money and said, "You want to go shopping?" Her daughter, the sister is down in Arizona, so it's just the daughter here. And I said, "Yes, we'll go shopping Mother's Day, and then we'll go and get something to eat." And I thought that sounds wonderful. Just us two girls.
Yeah.
Well, by Saturday, yeah, Saturday, um, the daughter that's here's oldest son had contacted them, her and her husband, and said, we got to go see the new Marvel movie. You want to go tomorrow afternoon,
Is
Mother's
this
Day?
the Doctor
Doctor
Strange?
Strange.
I
Yeah.
I really do like his character. So
So my grandson does too. My
yeah.
grandson really likes his character. So anyway, we have this family thing where we go see all the Marvel movies together.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
epic. That's like
yeah. Well,
epic.
I wouldn't. This is not a movie I'm going to see with anybody else. You know,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
going because I'm going with my kids. So Christine said, "What do you think? You want to?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely. We can go shopping another day." And she so complimented me for being flexible. And I mean, because I didn't even think about it. It wasn't like, oh, okay. It was like, oh, no, let's do that. And even my grandson bought our tickets and paid for our lunch. So
Look at
that
you.
was
How
our dinner.
proud is that?
Oh, I'm telling you. Oh, I am telling you. Yeah. I mean, the other brother and the dad were there too, but they had to pay for their own. He wasn't
Of
paying for them.
course, of course.
But isn't
But
that
no,
fabulous?
it's such a well. One, like as our buddy Cece would say, kudos to you
Yeah.
for
Thank
being
you.
able to receive that, And kudos to you for being able to be present in the moment and being like, this is what the moment has for me, and I am going to receive it. Like that. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing that I love about it, because I did realize it, as soon as I had agreed and everything, that how easy that was.
Yes.
I had no sense of, oh, I really wanted to. No, I wanted to be with them. So whatever that meant, whatever that took, and our times of going to see, the Marvel movie, Doctor Strange, whatever. It wasn't my favorite. It
No, I'm sure.
wasn't.
It seems a bit much to
Spider-Man,
me,
still
even.
the last Spider-Man is still my most favorite that I've ever seen. It
Oh,
was,
really?
oh, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, so but
Yeah.
I was with them, and the boys sat, so I was sitting between the two boys.
Oh,
And I mean, it's just like
this is
when they were little,
beautiful.
they had to sit by grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was
That
fun.
means so much.
I'm telling you, it absolutely does. And I take happily what they give me. And when, we're not together, when, they're doing their thing and I'm doing mine, I am so happy knowing how much I love them and how much they love me.
Yeah.
And I don't need them in my presence every day,
No, they're living
and
their lives.
yes, and that's what my daughter grew up to do. I wanted to say that's how I raised her, but I did not. That is who she is. And
That's
then that is who her boys are.
yeah.
And I marvel at that. I
Yeah.
really do. It's such a great pleasure to see how well they're doing. And my son sent me a text, Happy Mother's Day. So that was wonderful. you know,
That no,
um,
that's and that's the thing. Like, siblings. I know I'm a sibling. We could get into why is this enough for them but not enough for me, and it's like, well,
yeah,
because you're not being you. If you're, like, just if you're trying too hard, like, let me buy you all these things, and like my sister does well with money, and I do well with words, or I do well with
yes,
connection, and so, like, there's different ways that we appreciate.
right,
You know.
exactly. Yep. And whatever that way is, if there's somebody who appreciates it, then it makes it easier to give what they have. Sorry.
Bless you, bless you, and again,
Sorry.
and
It
again.
makes it,
No,
yeah,
no.
it makes it easier for them to be able to give what they have to give. So that whatever that is that they want to give, then I accept it and just absolutely love it, and feel like a blessed mama and grandma.
I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
So let's see what the Tao has to say about your weekend or about your coming week.
Yeah. So 19. Did anybody call 19 yet this morning?
No,
Okay.
no, not for a while. It's interesting. Throw away holiness and wisdom, and people will be 100 times happier. Throw away morality and justice, and people will just do the right thing.
Yeah.
Throw away industry and profit, and there won't be any thieves. If these three aren't enough, just stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. Wow.
In our talk about, like, your experience with your family this weekend and your experience with the changing, like, this really kind of this jives really close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Throw away your plans,
Yep,
and you'll do something, right? Throw away your goals, and you'll achieve something.
yep.
Throw away your desires, and you'll receive something.
Yes. Oh my gosh. in my life. Oh my word, the havoc that I have created for myself through expectations.
Yes.
Expectation, and worse, expectations that I never shared with anyone.
Mm.
So
Preach.
it was a double bind, you know. I mean, nobody was going to win.
Right.
Nobody could win because I wanted you to give me what I wanted and I couldn't tell you what it was.
That's right. You had to know.
Yeah. Yeah. You should
Yeah,
know.
you should know what I want.
Oh, that makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
You know, just the thought of all the wasted pain and poor me. Oh my.
Yeah.
And look, oh my goodness. I mean, it never even dawned on me, but look at the contrast. And I
Yeah.
even said it with just fine. Yeah, sure, we can do that.
It's
Ah,
such a beautiful thing, right? Like, and I was talking with Andy Scarantino a while back about this phrase that I really like, and I think I picked it up off of some show or something. Is slowly at first, but then all at once.
yes.
Here you are slowly growing, and it's almost like imperceptible. You don't know what's going on,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, one day, you're just like, yeah, it's cool, and it's like all of a sudden, it's just water off a duck's back,
Yep.
just all good, whatever. I tell the story of the time that I first described that I first realized I was an optimist.
Mm.
Like I was, there were a couple glasses, and I told my roommate at the time, "Oh yeah, mine's the one that's half full." And they looked at me and they said, "You just described that as half full." And it blew my mind
Yep.
because I was a pessimist and I was grouchy and it was just the first time I had recognized that wait,
Yes.
I have changed. I am someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Before that I had this thing, these ideas of what it meant to be a good person, or what it meant to be a happy person, and what it meant to be a person that was loved themselves, and it wasn't who I was. And here in this chapter 19, throw away holiness and wisdom, throw away your ideas of what you think these are, and
Yeah.
you will become 100 times happier. Throw away your idea of what you think a happy person is, what you think an optimist is, and step into yourself, and you will find that there.
Hmm. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just what what an amazing way to be able to live, to have come to these places that we are in now. And I heard Lois. I've had those moments. I've had that, where I'm not sure what's going on. What is this about?
Yeah.
But I sit quietly, and because it's mine. That's what I've
Right.
come to know about the pains that come up now.
Yeah.
Nobody else can fix this. This is mine. And I need to fix this in me, whatever it is. I need to feel this so that I can understand. Thank you, Lois. Yeah, yeah. The what's going on. And then, and yeah, I just, when you have those moments like I did this weekend, and then, well, and it happened right now. This weekend I just did what I did. It wasn't till now
Right.
that
Yeah.
I look and say, wow, I just I just did that, and it's not a big deal. That's the thing. This is not a big deal at all. I
No, no. And
wish I would have lived
it's not
like
that you're
this
gonna go
all my
around and celebrate. You just
no.
recognize that you're different.
Yeah.
You've grown.
Yes, yes, that
And
those changes have really occurred in my soul, in my
yeah,
beingness, in the depths of me, that I come to a place where I'm just okay with whatever.
that talks about, like that brings up the word embodiment. for
Mm.
me. And that's something that, again, I
Yeah.
was talking with Andy Scarantino about. Like, she has put out like a recent podcast and all this stuff all about embodiment. And that's what you're talking about. Like, you've
Yes.
embodied this new way of understanding yourself in the world.
Right.
Just like I embodied being an optimist at some point.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was I was, a piss poor pessimist for a long, long time. And one day someone had to show me that
Yeah.
growth had happened.
Yeah.
Because even though I was showing up consistently hoping growth would follow, I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And then I said that glass is half full. Like, from a natural place. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yes.
holy hell.
Yeah.
I am someone else.
That's how it happens. Yeah.
So beautiful.
It
Right.
truly is. It is beyond measure. And I know that I am an optimist, and I've always been a bit of an optimist, just so much more so now, because all
Yeah.
this stuff, is a lot of it is cleaned out and stuff. So I am an optimist. Um, and I can't imagine what it must be like to go through life as a pessimist. You know,
I remember what it was like. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I can.
I can't, always expecting the worst. I always expected things to work out. And I went through a lot of hell to get them to work out, but they did. know. And I
Yeah.
always had that little carrot at the end of the stick, this is going to work out. Today I don't have to have all that carrot and stick stuff in between.
Right. That's a lot of proving. You got to
Yeah.
prove. You need goals. You need to put on those
Right.
things. It's like you throw away all that stuff. Throw it
Throw it
away.
all
None of,
away.
throw it all away, because you are better than anything that your mind can come up with.
Oh gosh. Wow. Now, what was before I leave or even after I go, you tell me what that statement was that you said all at once. Something, what was that?
Slowly at first, and then all at once.
Then all at once. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Thank
everything.
you.
That happened in my recovery. That happens in love. It happens in so many things. It's like it starts slowly, and then all of a sudden, it's there. That was my experience of being an optimist. I did all of this work, doing all of this work, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And then one day, that glass is half full, and you recognize that it's all here now. And then you just wake up to being an optimist. Like, that's what I did. That was the experience. Slowly at first, but then all at once. Thank you guys so much. Mojo was in line. Is this? Oh, good. Good, 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 good. I thought you went away, brother. And this is where we're going to end it, because I need to have some breakfast. How's it going, man?
And you saved the best for last, brother.
Always, every time out there. Just trying to. Tomorrow I'm gonna probably be here early, so I'll probably miss all my Pacific time people. But
Right, yeah.
like we try and spread them out so we can see you guys. I know it's still early for you, but I do my
Yeah.
best.
I love what you do, man. You are making the world a better place, one person at a time. I appreciate
No,
that.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna get to that book eventually, and then we'll have a conversation. I'm going through some Ram Dass right now, and then I'm gonna jump over
Okay.
to that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, just put it
so
on your list. There's absolutely no deadline, no rush, no pressure, but when you get to it, I'd love to talk about it with you.
awesome. So give me a number, man.
All right, before I get to there, I wanted to comment on Catherine's talk, which was brilliant, by the way, and I loved it. But I jumped out at me that she said she went to this Marvel movie and it was okay. She went there for her kids, wasn't her favorite. And then later, just a few sentences later, she's talking about her boys, and she says, "And I just marvel at them." And I was like, "Well, that's where the real marvel is, not on the big
That's
screen.
right.
It's in your
That's
it's in
right.
your
That's
boys."
right.
And the word marvel just was marvelous to me.
Yeah,
So
I picked up on that. It was cute. Yeah.
yeah. And then your comment that slowly and then all at once, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so profound. I love that. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about how do you become a master at something, through practice, and you keep doing it consistently. But the masters never know when they've arrived, right? Because they just keep doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, like you with the glass half full, they say, "Oh my word, look, I'm there, and I didn't even know it." But then a master never feels like they've arrived anyway. That's just a new baseline or a base
Right.
camp,
Right.
to move to the
Yep.
next level. So I love all that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
all
that's
right,
all.
let's
That's
go.
all. That's all that stuff. Yeah.
It is. I love all this stuff. So let's go with 55.
55.
I can't drive 55, but I can take it down.
Yeah, that song annoyed the hell out of me
Me
because I had
too.
a friend of mine would just like he would blare it while speeding, and like he was just really in his body, and I was like, oh god, like, and
Yeah.
this was when I was still, I mean, I was still out there, but I was still like, gosh, this is such a drag. Why am I with this person?
I just thought the
Okay.
song was dumb. How do they make a living
Yes,
singing
it
songs
is.
about
It is.
driving that? Right. Anyway,
I'm always
55.
like, all you have to do is adjust the gas and brake. Like,
That's
you really
right.
can. You could say, I don't want to drive 50. Okay, that's fine. Fine, try 56, dumbass. Jesus.
Haven't you ever heard of cruise control?
Right? Come on. Just set it and forget it, son. Okay, so he who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. His bones are soft and muscles are weak. His grip is powerful. It doesn't know the union of male and female, yet its penis can stand erect, so intense is its vital power. It can scream its head off all day, yet never become hoarse, so complete is its harmony. The master's power is like this. He lets all things come and go effortlessly without desire. He never expects results, thus he's never disappointed. He's never disappointed, thus his spirit never grows old.
Wow. Always so profound. Oh my word.
So what are
So
some of your initial thoughts here?
so my initial thought is I have been contemplating and ruminating on this idea of the contrast between childishness and childlikeness.
Yes.
Childishness being just silly and immature and, irritating, really, but childlikeness having that, what you were just describing in the Tao, the awe, the wonder, the no expectations, everything is new and fantastic, and your imagination is running wild and you're curious. And I'm like, there's something so awesome about that. I want to not only embody that and reconnect with that child, but also I want to spread that. I want that to be contagious.
Yeah. And that's the two things that we're talking, like two of the main things we're talking about here, I think, is being connected to your vital power and being in harmony. He who is in
Yes.
harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. The bones are soft and muscles are weak, but grip is powerful. How does that? What are those kind of? How did those translate to an adult?
Yeah. So first, I think metaphorically, right? How is that true that a child's bones and muscles are weak, but the grip is powerful? And immediately I think of, or in my mind, I think of the grip of a child either on your finger if you're their parent,
Mm-hmm.
or a child that's suckling, right, with their mother.
Yeah.
As small and frail and dependent as they are, there's something very powerful. Like when they grip your finger or when they are suckling, they're not letting go for nothing, right? Uh, and
Right.
and and so there's actually physical evidence that this is true. That even though in they're weak physically, there's something in there that's really powerful. That's pretty profound, I think. But how does that
Yeah.
translate to us as adult then? Boy, that's a good question. I think this is an awareness piece um, that we drop the facade or the belief that I am powerful in that I am in control and I understand everything and all the I words that are really more narcissistic or selfish, and then grip to something nurturing. So this is like the mother nature or the divine female, the part of God that doesn't always get revealed unless we go into that childlikeness where we grip really hard to something much bigger and more powerful than us, whether it's with our fingers or with our mouth, that we're we need to be nurtured. And so we know that that's the one thing I'll grip onto. The rest of it, I won't trust as much.
Yeah. I look at bones and muscles as being like that structure and that like ability to apply force,
Good.
like in our lives, right? Like when we have really rigid structures and when we apply force from the space of those structures, right? When we believe in something so much that we are going to try and force others to believe that as well. And when we have the right answer, those are the things that I see those as. Now, the grip is powerful. I do kind of, maybe it's like the grip of self, right? Like understanding who you are. You are in the grip of humanity. And when you can soften your structure, and when you cannot use force, when you can make your muscles weak, when you can make that use of force weak, and when you can take your structures and make sure that those stay soft, right? Your bones are soft, so your structures are soft, and your ability to use force is weak. You can maintain an understanding of yourself. That's your grip.
Mm.
So that's how I
Wow,
see that.
that's really cool. I was thinking of even like a bridge or a skyscraper. They look rigid, right? They have to have a structure, but if they don't have flexibility, if there isn't room to wiggle built into it, then
Mm-hmm.
when there is force applied from nature or from man or
Right?
whatever, it's more fragile. It'll crumble easier. But
It
when it
becomes
has the
brittle.
ability to, yeah, well, yeah, when it has the ability to flex and to sway and to adjust to the turmoil or the blunt force trauma or whatever that might be, well, then it can withstand all of that because it's pliable and flexible, and yet still anchored either down in the soil or anchored on the pylons, or there's still something holding it so it doesn't crumble, but a lot of flexibility. So that's that paradox of flow like water, but still be anchored somewhere that's bigger than you, right?
Yeah. It continues it doesn't know the union of male and female, yet its penis can stand erect. So intense is its vital power. Now, and that is connected to, I believe, it can scream its head off all day, yet never become force, so complete is its harmony. And this idea of is vital power, the intense is the vital power, is like, what you need to do. The vitalness, and your actions are springing from you, not because the union of male and female, but because this is part of who you are.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
penis and this tool of yours can stand erect, even though you don't know the reason it's
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
And you don't
Yes.